Hello, everybody. Today is September 15th, and today is Vaginismus Awareness Day. This is actually planned on the spur of the moment. I kind of lost track of day, date, and time. I guess I can be excused for it at this point in time in my life with everything that's going on. I am going live with Shri underscore Curly, and I truly hope we'll be able to request her to join right away. Okay. Okay. So until Sri Divya joins us, I'm going to be quickly telling you what vaginismus is in the first place. Vaginismus is basically any sort of penetration into the vagina, whether it is a tampon, which is a period product, or a menstrual cup, again a period product, or if you have a pelvic exam, like a gynecological exam, then your vagina automatically squeezes, like when you sneeze or when you cough, your vaginal muscles automatically tighten up, which makes penetration of any sort extremely painful for the woman or people with vaginas, right? So today I had basically spoken about somebody's asking me to use filters first. I have no intention of using a filter in between. I just tried using it because it was fun. So I'm going to see if Shri has accepted to come on to this. We'll see. So as long as vaginismus is concerned, it is basically of two types. Somebody could have had it from the beginning, or they could have just, and Shri Divya is here. So I'll just quickly say people could have acquired vaginismus even later in their lives. A lot of people who have had very comfortable sexual intercourse earlier in their sexual active lives could have gone on to develop vaginismus, and there is no particular reason so far that there is why vaginismus is there as of now, as of existing research. But the common reason that people attribute vaginismus to is anxiety or fear. Naturally and not unsurprisingly, it is not necessary that this is the primary cause, but a lot of survivors of sexual harassment and sexual assault tend to develop vaginismus as a fear response or a shame response or a bodily response. And they don't even realize that they have developed this, and it's only when they attempt to have any sort of sexual activity for the first time that they realize that vaginal penetration is extremely painful. Quickly, Tamil solliren, Neela Sivakumar is here. She is a doula. She's a lovely person that I've known from our sisterhood meetings, and Neela Sivakumar also says that you can develop vaginismus from sexual trauma in your either in your parental home or in your marital home. Quickly தமிழ்ல சொல்லிட்டேன். இன்னைக்கு செப்டம்பர் 15 Vaginismus Awareness Day. Actually vaginismusக்கு தமிழ்ல என்ன அப்படிங்கிறது எனக்கு தெரியாது. பட் அந்த வஜைனா வந்து ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி டைட்டன் ஆகி செக்ஷுவல் இன்டர்கோர்ஸை பயங்கரமா பெயின்ஃபுல் ஆக்கும். அல்லது நீங்க டாம்பான் மாதிரி பீரியட் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ண நீங்க ஆசைப்பட்டீங்கன்னா டாம்பான்ஸ் இன்சர்ட் பண்றதோ அல்லது பீரியட் மென்ஸ்ட்ருவல் கப் யூஸ் பண்றதோ என்ன இன்சர்ட் பண்றதுமே ரொம்ப ரொம்ப பெயின்ஃபுல்லா அன்கம்ஃபர்டபுளா இருக்கும். அது மட்டும் இல்ல, ஒரு கைனகாலஜிக்கல் எக்ஸாம் நீங்க போகணும், ஒரு கைனகாலஜிஸ்ட் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு பெல்விக் எக்ஸாம் கொடுக்குறாங்க அப்படின்னா அந்த ஒரு எக்ஸாமே எக்ஸ்ட்ரீம்லி பெயின்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும். இதுக்கான ரீசன்ஸ் என்ன அப்படிங்கிறது இன்னும் ஃபுல்லா தெரியல. ஆனா இது பேசிக்கலி ஒரு ஆங்ஸைட்டி அல்லது ஒரு பயம் சம்பந்தப்பட்ட ஒரு பாடி ரெஸ்பான்ஸ். நம்மளோட உடல் வந்து ஒரு பயத்தினால இது ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி இந்த மசில்ஸ், இந்த மாதிரி வெஜைனல் மசில்ஸ் இந்த மாதிரி ரெஸ்பாண்ட் ஆகுது. ஆனா சில பேருக்கு பிகினிங்ல இருந்தே இந்த ஒரு விஷயம் இருக்கலாம், இந்த பிரைமரி காஸ்ன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, அல்லது செகண்டரியா கூட அவங்க கொஞ்ச நாள் கழிச்சு கூட இதை கூட டெவலப் ஆகிருக்கலாம். ஸோ உங்களுக்கு வஜைனிஸ்மஸ் இருக்கா இல்லையா அப்படிங்கிறது நீங்க செக்ஷுவல் இன்டர்கோர்ஸ் ட்ரை பண்ணும்போது உங்களோட பார்ட்னரோட ரொம்ப பெயின்ஃபுல்லா இருந்துச்சுன்னா கட்டாயமா நீங்க ஒரு கைனகாலஜிஸ்ட் வந்து மீட் பண்ணணும். இன்னைக்கு வந்து வெஜைனிஸ்மஸ் அவேர்னஸ் டே, செப்டம்பர் 15ஆம் தேதி அப்படிங்கிறது நிறைய செக்ஷுவல் ஹராஸ்மெண்ட், அசால்ட், ட்ராமா சர்வைவர்ஸ்க்கு வெஜைனிஸ்மஸ் டெவலப் ஆகுதுங்கிறது ஒரு நிறைய பேருக்கு அது இருக்கு, பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் த பாடிலி ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் த ட்ராமா. இன்னைக்கு நாம வந்து ஒரு வஜைனிஸ்மஸ் அவேர்னஸ் பத்தி அண்ட் வஜைனிஸ்மஸ்ல இருந்து ஹீல் ஆற ஜேர்னி பத்தி நம்ம ஸ்ரீதிவ்யா கிட்ட பேச போறோம். ஸ்ரீதிவ்யா பர்சனலி அவங்க வஜைனிஸ்மஸ்ல இருந்து எப்படி ஹீல் ஆனாங்க அப்படின்னு பேச போறாங்க. ஸோ தேங்க்யூ so much, Srividya. This is a great thing that you came across and decided to do this at one short notice. Two, the fact that you are able to speak about this so openly and to help so many women, or rather I'm going to say people with vaginas. So yeah, let's go ahead, Srividya. Tell me, when did you realize you had vaginismus?
So firstly, thank you, Ka, for again in short notice, accepting to do this live. Yeah, I'll start. Like so many years ago, I always had, whenever I used to hear pregnancy stories, right, like mostly normal delivery stories, then I would have, I'm sorry for this thing, my front camera is not working, so I'm like actually showing my laptop's camera. Yeah, I'm audible, right? So yeah. So whenever I used to hear pregnancy stories of or see pregnancy scenes, delivery scenes in movies or something like that, that do normal delivery, so it felt like really I couldn't take it at all. I felt something in my body. Okay, that was one thing, and I have heard of this when I shared something like this with my friend. She told that there is this term called vaginismus. So people who feel uncomfortable even of the thought of something entering or coming outside vaginal opening. Yeah, that is something called vaginismus. And cut to like 1 or 2 years later to that, I also happened to know one couple whose one of the main reasons for the divorce was vaginismus, and the woman wouldn't be volunteering to heal from it. So that is again a personal choice. Yeah, but that caused to divorce of a couple, and that was all the little bit of information that I got, but I didn't really reflect it on myself. I then there was this cupverting thing happening in Insta, right? Mostly during the COVID time. Like I spent a lot of time on Instagram, and I learned that menstrual cup is the best period product to use. You'll not feel that you are in a period, and so I was I was going through so much of rashes, and like my period was like not point of view of bleeding, but on the pad use பண்றனால வர rashes or அந்த ஒரு கசகசன், that messy feeling or that thing always bothered me. Yeah, so I also work in a factory where I happen to like walk a lot around the manufacturing line, so you can't sit in a place and rest even if you have cramps. So அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கப்போ I was like so interested in the menstrual, what is a menstrual cup, like how do people use it, and like everywhere there were only positive feedback about it, right? They were like this, even if I had known this before, my அந்த மாதிரி தான் வந்து the take was. So I was like, okay, we are getting one and we are going to use it. So அந்த மாதிரி I got one also, and through you I got Maya Samma illame in the last 2.5 years la da, and I attended her session of how to use a menstrual cup. I also approached some of my girlfriends who are cup-worded, and they share the experience. So idhula common enna irundaduna, so you will have to first know your body anatomy. So you should have had fingering experiences, you should have been comfortable with it. So andha mari irundaduna, this will be easier for you to start with, was the common point that all of my friends and even session la andha mari sonnadhu. So now I am someone who is like totally uncomfortable with it, and other penetration was also like very painful for me. And there, whatever we with vaginismus, we feel like there is a wall there, that there is no hole in our body. There is no hole except the pee hole and the poo hole. There is no other hole. So there is a wall there, and someone is pushing against the wall, and it is like hell painful. So that is how we feel. So I got this menstrual cup also. After the session, I also saw your video on usage of menstrual cup, and I got one, and I'm like all ready. Okay, I have learned all the procedure, how to sterilize it and everything, and I'm on my period, and it has to be tried only on a period, right? Not on a. It is advised to be tried only on a period. Yes.
Right.
Now, now, are we comfortable with period blood? First, are we comfortable with putting something inside? No. Are we comfortable with period blood like sticking to your hands? Not at all. So that that day, that night, after I came back from work, I sterilized my cup and I'm like ready to, put it inside, and I'm not able to find the hole. I'm like, I learned all the theoretical folds, C fold, this fold, that fold, and all. But then where will I insert it inside my body? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to push it, and yeah, within a second, it all got messy. My hands were full of, trigger warning blood, and the cup was full of blood. And I'm like, what is this? So, one takeaway, like one learning in retrospect is, I was pressuring myself to, get converted.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
Okay, it was like a to do list. What one of the to do list. Okay, like I have to do it this year. I have to do it in my next period. Somehow I have to cup. Vertical and the pressure subconscious, I've started building up. So I keep on, seeing people who talk about, how they have inserted the cup, and those who have cupverted, I don't see them talking about vaginismus or the pain. So their common feedback is it'll be a bit, weird. You can try lube so that it slides in easily.
Mm.
So this all comes with a prerequisite of knowing your body well, embracing it, and being comfortable with your genitals.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. If not, other feedback was if you are sexually active, it will be easy for you, which is
Correct.
not the case. Yeah, that's also not happening in my case. So I'm like, if I cupword, it'll help in my sexual life, or if I'm sexually active, that will help me cupword. I want to cupword somehow. Okay, this was my thing. So this happened, and I also got examined by gynecologist just to
Mm.
understand what is this, like, to get it confirmed by a gynecologist that I have vaginismus. Okay, so I went for an examination. So this is like herd knowledge and this kind of knowledge, right? So who will examine me and diagnose me that I have this condition? So I went to
Right.
gynecologist and I had my vaginal examination, and she was like, firstly, for both in cup point of view as well as penetration point of view, she was like, if you get married and you have, if when you're sexually active, it will be okay, then you can start using a cup. So that was one thing. And the examination was hell horrible. It was like painful like hell. I was like
Mm.
screaming, just take your fingers outside, enough is enough. So she's like, see, it's going. So she had a lot of lube, and she of course, but then she's like, please relax, breathe in, breathe in.
Mm.
I'm not going to do anything, I'm just examining it, and nothing is working out. I'm screaming, just take your fingers out. This was my vaginal examination from a gynecologist. Then post examination, she's like, this is nothing. Once you get married and once you're sexually active, it's going to be fine, you need not worry about it. And she didn't even mention the word vaginismus.
Mm.
Okay, that was done. And but she suggested a loop that I can start using, and start inserting one finger and slowly exploring myself, like sit whenever I'm relaxed. And then she told, once you're back after a month, being comfortable with your finger, I'll suggest dilators. So dilators are set of 5 6 different sizes of, like, pain is like silicone structures that you start practicing, so that your body, your vagina is not afraid of any foreign object entering it.
Okay.
So this was all suggested, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't even think of doing it. I didn't
Okay.
have the mental energy, or the guts, or whatever you call it. I didn't have I didn't have the time to sit and do it. To, like, you have to start at some point, right? uh, I was like, I'm alone in this. Like, whomever I asked, those who are married, those who have had babies, I've asked them, like, how was it in the first time when you had sex? And they're like, yeah, it'll be painful, you'll have to adjust, then it'll be okay after first few times. So this is the common response I was getting.
The thing is, I think it will be painful the first time. Is from what I understand from also sex health educators, this painful the first time, painful the first time. It is almost as if women want it to be painful for the first time, right? It doesn't have to be. If you are actually aroused enough and your vagina is lubricated enough, it is not supposed to be painful for the woman. அது என்னமோ வந்து பெண்களுக்கு வந்து எடுத்த உடனே செக்ஷுவல் ஆக்டிவிட்டி வந்து அஃப்கோர்ஸ் திருமணமான அப்புறம் அதெல்லாம் சொல்லிடணும் இல்லையா, நம்ம தமிழ்நாடு கற்பு கலாச்சாரம் அதெல்லாம் இருக்கே. ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் ஒரு செக்ஷுவல் இன்டர் கோர்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிற போது பெண்களுக்கு வலிக்கல அப்படின்னா நீ கற்பு கரசியா இல்லையா அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு கேள்வி வந்து கட்டாயமா கேட்டு தொலைஞ்சிருவாங்க ஊர்ல.
So true, I've also heard stories like after the first night or something, they'll examine the blankets whether it has gotten, you know, blood stains. So அந்த ஹைமன் உடைச்சிட்டு உள்ள போயிருக்கான்னு செக் பண்ணுவாங்க.
இதெல்லாம் வந்து இந்த ஒரு பர்டிகுலர் இது மட்டும் அது சரியான ஒரு I really wish I could yell and be angry about this. பெட்ஷீட்ல ரத்தம் இருக்கா இல்லையா அப்பதான் நீங்க வந்து கற்பு கரசி இல்லனா இல்ல. ஆக்சுவலி நிறைய பேருக்கு அந்த ஹைமன்ங்கிற அந்த ஒரு விஷயம் வந்து இருக்கணும்ன்ற அவசியமே இல்ல. எல்லாருக்கும் பெயின்ஃபுல்லா, அதாவது எந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஆணாதிக்க சமுதாயமா இருந்தா உனக்கு வந்து செக்ஷுவல் இன்டர்கோர்ஸ் பெயின்ஃபுல்லா இருந்தா மட்டும்தான் நீ கற்பு கரசி, அல்லது நீ கற்பு கரசி இல்ல. நம்மளுக்கு வந்து அந்த பிளஷருங்கிற அந்த ஒரு விஷயம் வந்து பெண்களுக்கு இருக்கவே கூடாது அப்படிங்கறதே வந்து ஒரு ரொம்ப கேவலமான ஒரு மனப்பான்மை. இங்க வந்து we have another person who's saying that it took 6 months to even penetrate for me during my first sex. Pain and fear dominate அப்படின்னு. And the bedsheet theory is crap, right? So if the male partner is not able to make the female, the woman comfortable enough that she is aroused enough, and if you are going to be associating sex with pain for her, then what sort of a sexual partner are you? I mean, I would definitely also say that it's failure.
So and also we as women, we don't know now only I got to know after the program that this is the anatomy, this is how we know the urethral canal and the vaginal canal and the rectum is placed in this angle, and you will have to be aroused. Biologically it's designed that when an aroused vagina will have its own erection in the inward side like a penis has an erection. So it is like when it can deliver a human, so it is biologically designed that it will never be painful when aroused and lubricated. So it is, the penis has to fit in somehow, like without any pain. So it has to be painless, pleasurable penetration. So that is the main motto of this program also. So one more thing, like once you start to hear all these things, you also Google the same, will sex be painful? Abna adu 10 article varum, oh sex will be painful only, but nammalaala dhaan thaanka mudiyala, ayyo. So andha madri oru
Maya Sama is here. Hi Swati, so lovely to see you. This was an impromptu live. We did one. We doffed the hat to you a little earlier on this live, so you'll see it when this goes up on my channel and also on Instagram. Thank you for all the good work you're doing, Swati. Much love to you. So
Kisses and hugs to Maya Sama only. She was like, "Innuma idu vechirukka, olunga poi tharuma podu program seru." Because I've been like whining to her for a long time now.
No, I think I definitely believe that the concept of all of us in India knowing basically what our genital region is itself is a huge problem. A lot of men think that the vagina is how we actually pee, right? We urinate through our vagina is what a lot of men think. They don't understand that the vagina is different, the urinary canal is completely different, and the anus is different. Anus is how the the feces or the poop goes out of the body. Urine comes out through the urinary canal, and then the vagina is how the menstrual blood comes out through. How is it that you have problems? This is how you pee, and this is how. I'm like, oh my god, did you guys even do biology in school or not, right?
No, that is another big question, but anyways,
completely different discussion for a different day. I think I want to quickly answer a couple of questions that I've gotten on my DM. It is from I'm just going to say Shri. I'm not going to say the full name because I'm not sure if they want to have their name given out. So they're saying that I have been using pads for years now. I've been wanting to switch to a cup, but I'm scared of inserting it, of it getting lost inside. Number one, nothing is going to get lost inside. There is a YouTube video on my channel. This particular question has been answered by Dr. Manjula Anagani, who's a gynecologist, and she's also a Padma Shri awardee. She has answered this specific question. So please go and check this out so that you know that when a gynecologist answers that, it's absolutely legit. And she is a non-judgmental, non-shaming sort of a gynecologist. She's not going to say, kalyanam mana alla seriya poirum. She's not that sort of a gynecologist, okay? So it's not, your menstrual cup is not going to get lost inside. That is number one. If you don't have enough education on how to, you're saying where to insert it, you basically insert in your vagina. If you're not aware of where your vagina is, definitely have one of these sessions with Maya Sama. There are a lot of sex health educators. I would definitely recommend Swati Jagdish. You can also speak to Neela Sivakumar. She's a doula. She will also help. Of course, she's more in a birthing space and a support system for the birthing space. However, she's also a great person to speak to. I'm really scared in general about anything related to my bladder because somebody in my family had bladder cancer and her mom had uterine cancer. The fear is instilled in me. I'm finding it very hard to do anything that's non-conventional, like using a cup. First off, my profound apologies. I'm really sorry that you have had to deal with such loss, but I can, at least from here, I can assure you that tampons have been used for ages, and the cup, it's usually made with medical grade silicone.
Yeah.
I don't think you really have to worry about it. If you have more questions, I would definitely suggest that you speak to a gynecologist. A lot of gynecologists are also very traditional, and they tend to say stuff like, don't use menstrual cups if you're not married because you need to be a virgin when you get married. Oh, I would be like, because they put so much I don't know, stress on making sure your hymen is there so that you bleed on your first night. Okay, all of this is nonsense and bullshit. I'm going to tell you that. Okay, Shri, I'm going to continue with a couple of other questions that I did say that I would ask you.
Yeah.
Let's go. Now, you did say what vaginismus is and how you knew how you had it in the first place, and you had spoken to friends and others. Now, let me ask you, how did the healing process begin? How did you start healing?
Yeah. So finally, I got to know from Maya Sama again that there is this wonderful gynecologist called Dr. Taru Jindal from Mumbai, and she's hosting. She's connecting this vaginismus healing program through Proactive for Her. Proactive for Her is a company, yeah, that runs mental health programs, counseling sessions, and also they have a very curated one for vaginismus healing. So I got to know that, and so to even to reach to the point that I will try this out. Okay, let me give this a shot. That took a lot of time because I was having a very hard time, in my previous organization, which was very toxic, and I had to, prioritize things first. Like I had to first move out of the organization. I have to find a better job with, a happier workplace with a better profile, and that kind of I was having sinus issues, so I used to have severe headaches, and I used to not be able to go to work often. So Anamari Prapo, I just wanted to first change my environment first, have a stress-free place, and then only like I could even think of registering through this course of this healing program. So it works in this way. You will first have a consultation, online consultation, where Dr. Taru or some other gynecologist from the healing program would talk to you. Basically, they'll just talk to you, they listen to you and talk to you. So what they'll do is, for me, it was an online consultation. In the mid of my, factory working day, I just went to some meeting room and I started, sharing my experience. Like, so they listen to you of whatever you've been feeling. Like it could be a feeling I actually felt, disappointed in me, or I can see a lot of movies and short films showing that ஒரு nightல வந்து they are getting pregnant la, so abortion பத்திலாம் பேசுறாங்க, like without proper productive sex. But Anna, this is not easy at all. Not just like that something can enter your vagina. ஏன் அந்த மாதிரி ஏன் இவ்வளவு ஹைப் கிரியேட் பண்ணாங்க, என்னால மட்டும் முடியல, like அந்த மாதிரி I was in a very depressed and like disappointed, I would say, in me. And I just ranted out to her, like saying this is what has been happening in all these years, and I somehow want to switch to the cup, ma'am. That's why I've come here. Then she was like, she's the first one who actually empathized with me, and she started stating facts that I could totally, yeah, you get me, ma'am, you get me. That kind of or relief. Okay, I'm at least talking to the right person to relief. Then so you the thing is, for the last 2 years,
Tell me, go ahead.
Yeah, for the last 2 years, they've been doing this. So we are in the 14th batch. So around 200 plus women, have, attended the program. And you don't get to, if you register today, you can't join the program next week. So you will be put in wait list. So I'm at least happy that there are a lot of women who have, registered for this program. So you'll be put in wait list. And 2 months later, I got a message from the team proactive for her saying that there's a new batch coming up, and would you like to join? So I joined. You will get to select the type of program that you have. So that's how the program started. And there you will have your own fellow women who have gone through the same or similar kind of experiences, and they're also longing to get healed from it. And that kind of environment, that support, and that empathetic environment is what is the major, that the kind of feeling that you're not alone in this. So that is one major thing that help me grow. So
I'm just sorry, I'm going to interrupt. I got a comment saying, "Call me a coward. I'm married for 9 years and it's a sexless marriage because of my anxious thoughts about penetration." I definitely think that if you really want to get help, please feel free to DM Sri for resources on who can help you. Or even, or I think right after this, Sri and I will put together a resource list on which will be permanently on this page so that you can reach out, and whole list of healers that can really help you. One is Neela Sivakumar, another is Sangeeta Pasarthi. You can speak to Swati Jagdish, who's a sex ed counselor, educator, sorry. And then if you're looking for something like an intergenerational trauma healing, we have Shraddha Soni. She has worked extensively on me. And all of this I'll definitely put up. So I definitely think that it is just like, it's not as if something that will fit me will fit you. Something that will heal me will heal you. Or this particular mode of healing or therapy can work for me, it need not work for you, right? So you will have to figure out what works best for you with regard to a healing or therapy or counseling, or whether it is going to be a gynecological, whatever it is, whichever path you choose, you will have to figure out what fits you best. And it can only happen, I can tell you what your options are, and you can choose what's best for you. And it's also possible that what I say that worked really well for me cannot work for you also. If I had to really, I know therapy and healing is very serious, but if I had to slightly bring it down to a very more understanding level, it would say like, a lipstick that can work for me need not work for you. A foundation shade that works for me doesn't have to work for you. I mean, it's just more on the appearance side. I mean, if I had to just simplify it, that's what I would say. And I have one other comment which says that I was sexually assaulted and it has probably caused me not enjoying sex and penetration. Is there anything I can do? Yes, you can. You can definitely get help and heal from this. I wish you all the love and healing in the world. I wish that genuinely for you, because I understand how this is. Because I think with sexual harassment and assault, especially with if you, I wouldn't wish this on anybody, but if you went through public shaming like I did, right, there is a very bodily response that you can have. Your body just tries to shut down, and then there is a lot of shame. Because I have gone through all of that, I speak from that. You think sex is dirty, you think intimacy is dirty. You know, all of this trope of this pativrata, karpu karasi, the kannagi, and the madrilan solluvaangalla. So இதெல்லாம் ஒரு யூஸ்வலி கல்யாணம் ஆயிருக்கிறவங்க கூட இந்த மாதிரி சில ஒரு ஃபேமிலிலேயே ஷேம் பண்றாங்க, ஸ்லட் ஷேம் பண்றாங்க. நீங்கெல்லாம் ஸ்லட் ஷேமிங்கிறதே ஒரு கொஞ்சம் ஒரு ப்ராப்ளமேட்டிக் ஒரு டெர்மினாலஜி தான். பட் ஐ எம் கோயிங் டு பைபாஸ் தட் ஃபார் நவ், பிகாஸ் ஃபார் திஸ் கான்டெக்ஸ்ட். நீ யாரோட வேணா போயிருவ, நீ என்ன யாரை பார்த்து பல்லு இழிக்கிற, யாரை பார்த்து இழிக்கிற, உங்களுக்கு நிறைய ஆம்பளைங்க தேவையா, இந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் வீட்லயே அம்மாக்களே, பாட்டிகளே, அத்தைகள், பெரியம்மாக்கள், சித்திகள், வீட்டுல இருக்கிற பெண்கள், உற்றார் உறவினரே இந்த மாதிரி பயங்கரமா வார்த்தையை விட்டு கேவலமா பேசுறது, வீட்டுல இருக்கிற பெண் குழந்தைகளையே பார்த்து இப்படி சொல்றது. ஏதாவது நம்ம கொஞ்சம் தலையை வாரி சீவி ஏதாவது கொஞ்சம் பாக்கிறதுக்கு நல்லா, யாரை பார்த்து பல்லிழிக்கிறதுக்கு போற, யாரை அட்ராக்ட் பண்றதுக்கு போற, who are you trying to attract, who are you trying to run away with? All of this sort of comments happen in a lot of Indian families, right? If a girl just tries to dress up a little bit, There will be people inside the family who will shame her, saying, oh, you're trying to get the attention of boys because you want to sleep around, you want to run away with somebody. I'm saying the same thing in English because I'm getting comments saying, please speak in English. I am going to ask Shri the last question that I have permission to ask her. I had already vetted all of these questions. So I'm going to ask her, what do you suggest people with vaginismus do?
Yeah, first, first try to understand if that is what you have. So it could be your intuition or your heard knowledge, or you can, have a gynecologist examination. But in my case, the gynecologist examination had, worsened the fear, because my the already existing memory of that discomfort of something entering the vagina also got amplified when something actually entered in, and it caused so much pain. So it was it had a very negative impact on me. So you can do that, and I would say you need to have like one or two people who really understand. It could be a partner or a friend or someone like a like-minded community that would understand what you're going through, who validates what you're going through, and then you can start on with the healing process. Because I am from the school of Taru ma'am's vaginismus program, so I would definitely recommend that. I also missed to tell that. So before I even started to register for, before I even start with this program, I actually set some few other things, that other major things in my life. I try to set it right. Like I moved out of a toxic workplace. I was working like I was undergoing healing sessions with Shraddha Soni ma'am to heal my intergenerational trauma. So those were all the things that
Yeah.
were bugging me a lot. So, and the inner child healing, or to attend any other program on on conversations and negative self talk, or whatever it is, Maya Sama sessions and Shraddha Soni ma'am, like the, and you basically whenever you went out something, it is like totally I'm getting a voice, whatever I want to tell, that someone is telling it. So it is like validating me, and also like I can't tell in everything like openly, but Chinmayi akka is doing for me. So அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு comfort கிடைச்சது. So all this other healing and therapy was going on, and I was in a place of financially and emotionally to help me register, go about with this program. So அந்த ஒரு thing is needed. So once you're ready for it, if you are married or if you are in a relationship, your partner support is really important. So adu vandu you
Just 1 second, Sri. So sorry. I think people joined a little late, and some people are asking what we are talking about. We are talking about vaginismus today, and I'm talking to Shri, who has healed from vaginismus. Today, September 15th, is Vaginismus Awareness Day. So we are talking about this. This live video is going to be shared on my YouTube channel. It will also be available on this page. So if you want to understand how Shri healed from this, the resources, all of this will be up on this page. Please continue, Shri. Thank you.
Yeah. So your partner support is very much needed. So, and you will not get in the first place. Sometimes people don't actually approve of it. Like how is it even going to help? You're going to spend a lot of money, but how is it going to help? Or first you will have to try. You have to put your mind and heart into it. Like only then whatever external help you get, whatever you act upon is only going to be fruitful. So but then this particular program, they do a fantastic job of healing you layer by layer. So they don't start immediately with inserting something into your vagina. So they, in the first 10 days, they only work on your emotional healing, where they address your fears. Like first of all, why this negative perception, or any negative or fear that is attached to your vagina. So for me, when I look back, when they dug upon all my history, I been through sexual grooming, and I've had some molestation like right before a Diwali evening by some random drunkard. And like you said, we freeze, and the stress is stored at different parts of our body. And I also got answers to a lot of other things, like why am I having constipation, and why am I having this toe grip when I stand for a photo, or whenever I'm doing something focused, my toes go like a grip, like claws.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for this. I had no clue. I mean, despite the fact that I think I know stuff, but I have a lot of the stuff that you are saying I have as well, right? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay,
So
makes sense. Okay.
this is like a miracle. Like mind and body is like you can't even imagine how they are connected, and in so many ways the responses keep happening and you don't observe. So I, because I had this fun moments like என்ன நீ இப்படி monkey மாதிரி வச்சிருக்க, or உனக்கு you will not poo regularly. So I always have this irritable bowel problem, and I have constipation, and now the answer is the pelvic floor is tensed. That is the answer for everything. So I get throat pain and sinus a lot. Like whenever there is a concert or program when I have to sing, I stress up a lot and I get throat pain. So for me, head, the migraines, you get the sinus, you get the throat pain, you get the constipation, you get the throat grip or the jaw clenching thing that you do whenever you are in a stressful situation. That all is the stress response. That is all where your stress is being stored in your body. So over these years, I've started observing all these slowly. And whenever my toe is like with ape grip, that also I got from Insta only, from someone from Maya Samas community. So I actually like release my feet and be relaxed. I try to be relaxed. So that these are all parallel gains that I got from the program. So basically they work on your emotional healing first. So they'll dig up, so it is going to be overwhelming if you have had a lot of bad experiences. I'm sorry. For me, that one was there, and whatever rape cases that you have heard of. So that stories, right, of the details of any rape case. So in our generation, we know Nirbhaya's rape case. So when I look back, these all have, really affected me. So these were the answers of, why I actually feel that, because vaginism is something involuntary, right? You don't think and then your
Yeah,
vaginal muscles contract. It is like you can't do anything about it. It just
right.
blocks. So actually the body is protecting you from something, thinking it is a unwanted thing. It is a, bad thing. So you will have to train your mind and body to tell it's okay. It's okay, with your permission and consent only something is entering inside. You can relax and it can enter. It will not hurt you. It is going to be pleasurable for you in the case of penetration, or it is going to give you a very good period's time when it's in the case of menstrual cup. So you'll have to train. So they'll first work on your mind, and then they'll try to replace this negative playlist that's running in our head, right, in the subconscious, with the positive ones, with proper biological facts. And they'll take classes on the anatomy and how it is biologically designed, and nothing is going to be painful or awful about it. So that happens, and then they slowly introduce you to the pelvic floor relaxation exercises. So that is basically related to your deep belly breathing. So that was a very huge revelation for me, that whatever now I understood when my sister like told, like, you have to breathe out to push the baby. And it's like, oh, this breathing is related to the expansion and contraction of pelvic floor. No one told this. So that is a very big learning. And they'll slowly they'll yoga is brought into the program, and you will have sex and pleasure coaching. They will basically make you feel so comfortable with this entire topic of sexuality, sex, pleasure, penetration, whatever it is. And also the main point here is they will bring in your partners. So you can opt for partner session, where the
One
partners will
second. I think somebody is asking what program is it, what's the name, and by who. Shri did mention earlier in this live that it is by Tanu Jindal, right?
Yeah, Dr. Tara
Yeah.
Jindal, and Proactive for Her.
Proactive for Her is the program, and apparently there is a huge waiting list for this. So I really wish you all the best if you want to get into this.
Yeah.
I think
So
once
that's
you
it.
finish, we have a set of questions which is also coming into my DM.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
sure.
I'll just
Maybe.
finish off. Yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
finish off other aspects of the program.
Yeah.
So that is done. Emotional healing is done. So there'll be one coach assigned to you to have one-on-one sessions with you. So they'll travel with you along the 6-week, 8-week program, and there'll also be support group sessions to share each and everyone's progress. So, and at that point, as humans, we would be like comparing our progress to others' progress, and all that will be happening even then, at your worst case or in your best mood or whatever it is, they always encourage you to share your progress of the, when they introduce you to the dilators. So dilating is the main part of the program where you give practice to your vagina that's with your consent and without any pain, with good arousal and lubrication, something can enter in without any pain and it can be pleasurable. So that will happen. So there's a set of dilators that you'll have to complete. In this course, you will have yoga sessions and pleasure coaching sessions, and your partners will be taking, if you have a partner, they'll be taking up partner coaching sessions, and they will be sharing partners' perspectives too. So this is a lot about what has been suppressed between the two people in a relationship. So it is basically like இது ஏன் பிரச்சனையா உன் பிரச்சனையா தெரியல, நீ கோஆபரேட் பண்ண மாட்டேங்கிற, நான் பண்ண மாட்டேங்கிறேனா, so அந்த மாதிரி problems, and whatever they're not able to open up with each other, because men also have their own like little knowledge about இதுல sex and whatever menstruation la. So they also get a lot of learning from the same program, and what to say, and or info இல்லாத conversations will start happening between you and your partner. So no one is at fault. This has happened to us. Yeah, we are a team, and let's so அந்த மாதிரி there are many women whose partners were not okay with it, but now we are nearing the end of the program, they're like, wow, I'm so proud of your progress. Like அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு அந்த ஒரு அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு growth இருக்கும். Even for the partners there'll be growth, like அந்த ஒரு disinterestல இருந்து now they're like so involved and they're so supportive. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு growth you can see, which is like amazing that the program offers. And even if you're not able to heal, so for those who don't have partners, if you're able to insert the menstrual cup, which they suggest after the fourth dilator because of the size matching. So if you don't have a partner, if you're able to insert the menstrual cup like I did for my period for the first ever time in my life today, then it is considered that you are healed from vaginismus. So and the or fear illama, disgust illama. So while you do the dilation, because it's an 8-week program, you will have your periods in between. So they also encourage you to do the dilation during your period. So appa you will be like literally playing with blood. So ulla potu velila eduthu you will feel and or disgust illa idu ennoda odambu da, like. So they'll all start with first embracing your body and your genitals, and andha mari they started very slow, and it gets a bit intense. One more thing I'd like to tell Akka is, if you're a working professional and you have to parallelly go to attend this course of healing, then your boss's understanding, your team's understanding is must. So that I'm really blessed in my current organization, like where I told them that I'll be in a healing program, so I'll not be able to take up like a lot of tasks in these 2 months, and they were very understanding, and that is a blessing. So I wish all the working women out there get that kind of support from your workplace as well. So
if only, I mean, forget workplace, I mean, I don't think they have
and
a
if
sort
it
of
is at home and the
வீட்லயே பேரண்ட்ஸ் themselves, mothers themselves will ஆச்சேப்பா இதெல்லாம் ஒரு பெரிய விஷயம், இதுக்கெல்லாம் போய் தெரப்பி, இதெல்லாம் உங்களோட இந்த மாடர்ன் அமெரிக்கன் வெஸ்டர்ன் லைஃப் ஸ்டைல்ல நீங்க எல்லாம் இந்த மாதிரி என்னென்னவோ கதையெல்லாம் விடுறீங்க அப்படின்னு எங்க அம்மாவே சொல்லுவாங்க. அதுக்கு என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? So that is the whole thing. Okay, there is another question. There is somebody is asking, she had vaginismus and overcame it. She had pain-free sex, she got pregnant, and she is 4 months postpartum, and she hasn't had sex after giving birth, and she's a bit scared.
Okay.
And asking if there are chances of vaginismus again. Do you think this is a question that you can answer, Sri?
There is something called secondary vaginismus. If the birth was a normal delivery, if it was traumatic, so adu varathukku vaaipu irukku. That's about it. Adukku mela I can't tell. You have to ask a gynecologist, but
makes sense. Okay, there is somebody who's asking how to use a menstrual cup. It looks like it's not an easy task. Yes, there is a little bit of a learning curve. I also had a learning curve, because it just the menstrual cup basically hangs on to your vagina, right? Some people will panic because while you want to remove it, it doesn't feel like it's going to come out. So all that you need to do is just like keep you push out the the menstrual cup as if you are pooping in the morning when you pass stools. You're not supposed to be having such a hard time pushing out stools from your body. That is number one. But imagine you had to push out, you were a little constipated and you had to push out the stools from your body, and Okay. So the cup can be, you'll find the stem of the cup, and from there you can gently pinch the base of the
Pinch it,
cup and remove it very gently. It is
slightly
easy.
rotate it and remove it. Yeah.
Rotate it and remove, or just take it out pretty easily based on how small or how big your cup is. If you're just going to cupwort, if you're going to start with a cup, I would definitely say start with a smaller size.
Yeah.
Married or not married, sexually active or not, it does not matter. I think you can definitely cupwort at any given point in time, no matter what your mother says, no matter what your gynecologist says. I mean, depending on who the gynecologist, that's also I'm going to tell you that. Another person is asking, for people who do not have vaginismus, will I be able to cupwort if I haven't had sexual intercourse or fingering before? I think so. Sri, what do you think?
It's always better to start with, mirror exercise where you look at yourself and, start with, fingering first. Try to have self pleasuring activities, and then with lube, obviously. So with
Yeah.
lube, obviously. And then slowly, try inserting a cup. So your little finger is the first thing that you can try to, just to examine if you have a fear of insertion, or it's just the size that is
Yeah.
troubling you. Yeah.
Okay, somebody is asking if you can use it for 12 hours. Ideally not. Even sanitary pads are not advisable for you to be used for 12 hours. Please remove it between at 6 hours. I mean, at the max.
Yeah. Yeah.
6 to 8 hours at the max, right? Even otherwise, on heavy bleeding days, you will have to change. Here, Neela is saying, my child is 19, is not sexually active, but she still uses cups. So that is one thing. And I know that Neela's parenting is a very healthy parenting, and I am aware of the relationship she has with her daughter. So they are open enough to talk about sexual health and sexual activity as well. Somebody is asking, I have no issues with penetration, but feel there is a cut at the entry point towards the end, creates pain and cannot enjoy sex. What could this be? I mean, this is something definitely not, neither of us can answer.
Yeah.
You'll have to, if you feel like there is a cut and all that, you need to speak to a gynecologist immediately. Please do that. Okay. It's difficult to remove in other places like a public bathroom. I think the first time I actually used a cup, it's an interesting story. I had gone to a fair, I had gone to an expo of sorts where I was launching Isle of Skin for the first time in Kerala. And I started my period about 1 week early. I was not expecting it at all. And I made do with a few rolls, a few lengths of tissue from a tissue roll for a while. And then in the same fair, I went and I found that there was a menstrual cup store. I bought it, I sterilized it, and then I used it in a public bathroom. Okay. And I had to remove it and change it in the public bathroom. Of course, the first time I did panic. I thought it was not going to come out and all that. Then I saw a couple of YouTube videos which told me how to remove it. And I was very successful in removing after I relaxed. If you start panicking, your vagina is going to clamp up. It's like, it's just going to hold like this and not let
that
go.
When you put your finger in, it's like something gripping you from inside. So that was, even fingering was something that I could do only in this program. So that was like another level experience. Like you can feel the muscles like literally like gripping you inside. So I also, because menstrual cup is not something that you do after you get aroused and all. So the blood also acts as a lubricant, and you can also have lubricants used. So for me, it was a bit painful so once you master the angle, and once you have had full control on your breathing, the deep breathing that you do, and the position, for me, squatting helped. So on the once you figure that out, then it's going to be really
also easy. I think everybody needs to understand, you just need to go back to your 8th standard biology class. Your vagina is not a straight line. It's transverse. It goes like that. So it's not as if your menstrual cup will go and then find wings and then decide to fly up and go into your stomach. Because I actually had a woman, poor thing, she said, ante ala velli kaduploki velipotundemo. I said, it won't go into your stomach and all that. There is no channel by which it can go back or get reabsorbed. If that is the case, then menstrual blood should be able to travel backwards, right? It doesn't travel backwards because our body is made in such a manner that it leaves the body. Somebody is asking, menstrual cups reduces cramps and period pain. Is this actually true? She feels that So if you have had that feeling, great. But I'm not sure if there is enough research and study
I'm
to
very
say that
new.
it
I'm
can.
new baby to using menstrual cup. It's my first time, so I can't comment on it.
Right.
So
I mean, I used to be suffering with for a really long while, but that's not something I have anymore. But that has nothing to do with the cups by default. Somebody is asking, squatting is the only position I'm comfortable with. Is it for all? Find the most comfortable position that is comfortable for you. What does it matter if it is
yeah.
comfortable for somebody else or not, right? Just find your most comfortable thing and just wing it. And somebody is saying, I want to keep a statue for the person who invented the cup. I think that makes a lot of us.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody is asking you to save this. I will be saving it. What is the kind of sterilization needed, or rather, how to clean the menstrual cup? Normal soap and water. Thereafter, boiling water, boiling like you would sterilize in anything. A lot of people have a problem because people in all of our traditional Indian homes will have a problem with boiling it in the gas. How can you do this? So if you can actually have you have a toothbrush. If you can keep the toothbrush in the bathroom, I don't see why anybody should have a problem sterilizing with boiling water in the bathroom. I think it's pretty sad, but well, that's how it is. You can
At this
sterilize it.
point, Akka, I would like to acknowledge that I am privileged to move out of the house, work in some other place, financially be ready for this, and I can boil it in my kitchen here.
Yeah, same.
So,
I can also boil it in my kitchen. Nobody cares a damn about my home.
so
But I know that I can't do the same in my mother's house. She's extremely patriarchal that way. What to know any other method other than squatting? If there are a lot of resources on YouTube that teach you how to insert the different folds, the C fold, the I think is it the lily fold? There are different folds actually. So you can actually fold it twice, or you can have like the
there's a
depress it and
diamond
then
fold or something, yeah.
correct. There are different types. Just see what works best for you. If you're going to be trying this on a non-menstruating day, because your menstrual blood itself is a lubricant, right? So you're going to have to that it's easiest for you to try a cup when you're in the menstrual period, so that it's you have enough lubrication on its own. Otherwise, you can try any lube that you can get from a pharmacy, and
Yeah.
just try and insert it even during the menstrual period. If you feel that it's a little painful, because you will be tensed a little bit. I notice that a lot of people are tense about using the menstrual cup for the first time, or even a tampon for the first time. I mean, personally, when I tried the tampon, I hated it. It felt as if something was constantly there and I was not comfortable. However, for me, the cup was something I actually forgot that I was on my period. Thankfully, also because I have no other issues like endometriosis, or I don't have period cramps, and therefore I'm lucky enough and privileged enough to forget that I'm in my period, right? Sometimes that's not good because you kind of forget
Yeah,
to
again,
take
I would
out
say
the
if
cup.
you have period cramps or something, don't like pressurize yourself to cupboard or something, or you can do it on the day when you bleed less or when the cramps are less. You can try it on that day. Yeah.
Correct. So somebody is asking, what is better, tampon or cups? It's completely up to you. I think the reason why I started looking for cups is also because it is environmentally friendly. A cup is going to last you several years versus the sanitary pad or the tampon. The tampon is also going to take its own sweet time to biodegrade. There's a plastic that comes along with it. Plus, of course, the tampon itself is made of cotton, so it's going to take some time. Somebody is asking if there is leaking by using cups. If it is not inserted and placed in the right way, yes. So that is the
Or
thing.
it's just the overflow. So when I tried this for my first time, I kept a sanitary pad also just to check my leaking pattern so that I'll know, because I started with the small cup, right? But the bleeding is heavy. So
Right.
of course, even if placed correctly, if there is a overflow of it, you start getting leakage, and you will have to empty it often. So that
Right.
is there. You can switch to a bigger size cup later on once you are okay with it. Yeah.
That's a great tip. That's a really great tip. So the first time, as Sri said, just try with a sanitary napkin and a cup at the same time.
Yeah.
Somebody is asking, is there any chance that the cup will come out by itself?
No.
I don't know. I don't
There are
think
two
that's
holes
possible.
in the cup, so it creates a vacuum section and then it just stays there.
Yeah.
Once it comes out,
And
yes.
okay, while I try to pull out the cup with poop-like pressure, I'm getting the anal fissures out. Oh my God. Okay, anal fissures means something to do with piles, right?
I don't know.
No, or is it anal fissures out? I mean, of course, I mean, if you're trying to put pressure, and then if and if you're feeling some of the anal fissures appear, if that's what you're saying, I think that's normal. That's absolutely fine. But I don't know if there is a more medical reason to it. That whatever you're saying is
But
because you
when
say
I do
fissure.
that breathing out to, feel okay to remove the cup, I might pee. So keep this in mind. Whenever pee is, like falling on your finger or something, you immediately wash and then put your finger inside to remove the cup. So that is a very
Yeah.
important. Yeah. And every time you insert or remove, you wash it with mild. You wash your hands with mild soap and water.
Yeah, Neela Shivakumar is also mentioning that since the cup does create suction, break the suction first and then pull it out,
Right.
which means that you pinch the bottom of the cup as we mentioned earlier so that it
To
breaks
release
the
the suction.
suction and then pull it off. If you have itching issues after a menstrual cup, then something is wrong there, because in general cups, yeah, are one of the biggest advantages of using a cup is no itching, right? So I would definitely want to check with my gynecologist if I have some other infection because that is
Yes.
causing itching, and it is not necessarily because of the cup, right?
Yeah, maybe
Um,
you're like allergic to silicone or something, but you have to check it with your gynecologist. Yes.
Yeah, there is a Dr. Kavya who has mentioned that if you have an anal fissure, it might bleed and you have to consult a surgeon. Please check with this person, Miss RG. I'm just going to mention you like that. While you try to pull out the cup, you're getting anal fissures out. Please immediately speak to doctor. All right. I just hope I have answered all the questions here. Well, that's that. We are going to be answering. We are going to be putting up all of these resources a little later between me and Sri. She's also going to be sharing it on her page. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if her page is private, so I'm going to check that out.
Mine is public. So
Okay, so
mine is
her page
public.
is public, and okay, there is this question: how to get over vaginismus caused by sexual assault? Sri, do you have an answer for that?
You will have to undergo healing, emotional healing, pelvic floor healing, and then only you can, so one important thing that has to be followed during this course of healing, right? You should not at all try penetration unless it is the dilators that they have given or the fingers that, they have, suggested you to use. It should be only you. So no other external penetration, no sexual intercourse should happen throughout the healing period, this 8-week program, or until you are healed. Because the main motive is already there's a lot of garbage in head that needs to be removed. The negative perception and the pain that is, pain and fear that's associated with it. And if you're going to go for a gynecologist examination or another, like if you're going to have intercourse, that is going to create more negative memory in your, it's going to be there in your subconscious mind. So you don't want to have all that. So you have to undergo emotional healing, and they will guide you on how to like introduce foreign objects, be it your finger or cup or a dilator, slowly into your vagina. So that's
Okay, there's a person who's mentioned that some people will feel itching or irritation because of the stem of the cup. There's an option of trimming the stem in that case, as
that
the
is
level
also
of your cervix also matters. So I'm very sorry, I was not aware of that because I was only speaking from personal experience. Thank you very much for pitching in, Priya. Thank you very much for that information. And Maunika is asking, how often do we change the sanitary pads if there is no flow?
Even if there is no flow, you have to change it like
6 hours
6 hours. Yeah,
at the max.
but that we don't
Yeah,
do like because pads are costly. Packet but and I have been like, I know எதுவுமே ஆகலையே நான் இப்ப எதுக்கு மாத்தணும்ன்ற மாதிரி இருந்திருக்கேன். Please don't do that. Don't do that.
yeah.
Change
Also,
it
Neela
4 to 6
Shivakumar
hours.
and Dr. Kavya have both answered that it is 6 hours. So I think out of just guessing and thinking from common sense, I thought 6 hours makes more sense.
Yeah, 6 hours.
All right. So that is one. I think one of the things that can we go to the gym during periods? Please do if you want to. I'm not going to say do this, do that. Also, I'm not an expert in that. Can you work out along with periods? There are a lot of people who have a lot of opinions.
You can
Traditional
work
medicine.
at gym. Yeah, you can do a pelvic floor relaxation, like this Kegels, reverse Kegels kind of exercise that to soothe your region. Yeah, that can be done. But when you are in this vaginismus healing program, you avoid pelvic floor related exercises or avoid going to gym because this is going to be overwhelming. So this has a lot of homework that you will have to do, and lot of exercises that you will have to do.
No, I think the question was actually, can we go to the gym during periods? I think it is somebody who does not have vaginismus, I think. So there
Okay.
are a lot of people who have said that working out during periods has actually helped their menstrual cramps, and and there are, on the other hand, there are traditional medicine experts who say that it's better not to work out during your periods and your body needs to rest. There are
Okay.
both sides of it. I would definitely say make a decision for yourself, whatever works best for you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, right? How to overcome back pain during menstruation? You definitely need to consult with a doctor about this. I definitely would suggest that if you want to speak to somebody who's following Ayurveda or Siddha or allopathy, figure out whatever works best for you. And here today we spoke about a lot of trauma that is being remembered in the body, right? If you want to understand this better before actually speaking to a healer, there is a wonderful book called The Body Keeps Score. It is a fantastic book about how trauma and actually gets stuck in various parts of the body, and everything, all of our body, the kind of responses in terms of pain or anything else that we might have across the body could also be a stress response, a
The
permanent
gastric
stress
issues
response.
or sorry to interrupt, the gastric issues you get or the ஒரு phlegm எப்பவுமே வந்துட்டே இருக்கு or sinus or whatever it is, it could be because of stress.
It could be
Because
because
you
of
feel like
stress
you're
and
eating well,
trauma.
sleeping well, but yeah.
Yeah, so The Body Keeps Score is a wonderful book. It is also written by a fantastic expert. He speaks about all of these people, even war veterans who have gone to war and they have come back, and the kind of trauma that they endure and how their body remembers it. So I would suggest that you check that out. In general, if you want awareness on periods and how about the staining on your panties, why does your panties look orange, brown discharge, different colored
Yeah,
discharge, and all of this, I would suggest that you follow Dr. _Cuteris. She is a doctor who speaks about all of this. She is a great resource, and she also presents the facts in a very fun manner. Please check her content. Of course, please be polite and be respectful with the kind of resources that we are sharing. Please don't DM them for free advice. Doctors can't give you DM diagnosis and DM the responses based on what you're texting them. You need to consult with them. Also, somebody is saying the blood inside the cup in our body don't cultivate bacteria. Clear this one. Okay. Also, Swarna, Body Keeps Score by Bessel A. Van der Kolk. Okay. Also, I think Dr. Millie Hill also has a book written on periods. Okay, I think there is an answer for why this bacteria cultivation or something doesn't happen, but I don't remember it from the top of my head. I'm going to wait to see if one of our doctors is going to respond to this. Neela or Dr. Kavya, I think she was responding. The blood inside the cup in our body, will it not cultivate bacteria? I mean, I think then that considering the cup is going to be completely vacuum sealed inside the vagina, I think that's probably safer than our sanitary napkin, which we constantly open and expose to the air a lot more than because each
common.
time we pee and poop during our menstrual periods, because a lot of women have loose stools and a diarrhea like symptom
Stomach upset during periods.
during menstrual periods, right? So we tend to also go to the washroom quite often. So each time that we are lowering our panty along with the sanitary napkin, which is stained in blood, and then wearing it back, I'm sure there is a lot more exposure to air and bacteria that's happening than the cup, in my opinion. That is also just speaking from observation. So I think that somehow that is perhaps better. Neela definitely says bacteria, and another person is saying it will cultivate only if it is exposed to air. So don't remove the cup and then insert it back. Of course, it's also not possible, I think. So you just empty the cup every once in a while and then just wash it and reinsert. Somebody is also, Neela is also saying, unless somebody is immunocompromised, cups are safe enough. How to be mentally strong and stand up for ourselves when illogical, superficious beliefs are thrown at you. This is for another day. We'll definitely talk about period shaming and all of this unnecessary random crap that women have to follow in the name of menstrual segregation in Indian households by our own parents, starting from our own parents. And in some cases, our parents are fine, but the families that we marry into, they have these random unnecessary rules and regulations. Oh, you had sex with your husband, then you can't come and do puja because it is impure. Well, we'll talk about all of this on a different day.
Akka, I'll drop
This,
off in few
yeah,
minutes. Yeah,
we are dropping
I
off
like
now.
to,
I'm
yeah,
also dropping off.
I
Thank you
like
so
to
much
tell.
for your time, Sri.
Yeah, I like to thank few people before we I
Yeah.
drop off. First of all, thank you so much. So since the time I approached the final fourth dilator and fifth dilator, and when I was looking forward to use the cup, I was like, I have to tell this to Chinmayi Akka, and maybe she will help me spread the word. So thank you so much for doing it with short notice. And I would like to thank some of my friends. Aishu was there, other people. Priya is there from my Samaj community, and sorry, I'm looking at my laptop screen. I couldn't see some of your comments. Thank you so much for joining and for being supportive. My close friends, my loved ones, and Dr. Taru, Maya Sama, Shraddha Soni, you. The list just keeps going on. Thank you so much for talking about these taboo topics and making it comfortable for us to even share. So thank you so much, Ka. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sri. I have to answer a couple of questions before I drop off. So if you want to drop
Yeah.
off, feel free to do so.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a ton. Thanks a ton. I truly appreciate what you shared with us today.
Thank you, Ka.
Yeah. Okay. So somebody is asking, does head bath on the first day affect our vagina? No, it will not. If you want to have a head bath, please have a head bath. If you don't want to have a head bath, please don't have a head bath. A lot of people on their while they're menstruating feel a little feverish. So please don't force yourself to a head bath, second day head bath, third day head bath. Only after the fifth day head bath, you will be pure enough to enter the house. All of this is nonsense. Okay. Please don't believe in all of this. It's just random crap people kept saying without any scientific basis. The tampon thread gets wet while peeing. One of the reasons I hated the tampons, the thread getting wet while peeing. I'm forced to pull out and replace a dry tampon, which is very painful. If you're menstruating and inserting the tampon is very painful, which is also something that I had, but I didn't have the same problem with the menstrual cup. You could probably try and see if the cup works for you, right? I don't really have too much of personal information and experiential stories to share about the tampon, except for the fact that I don't like it. What are the precautions to take after miscarriage? Be very kind to yourself. Do not blame yourself. It was not your fault. No matter what relatives and parents or friends or anybody else tells you, or random YouTube channels and so-called experts say that it is your fault if you had a miscarriage, it is not your fault. Most times miscarriages have no known reason. When I had my first miscarriage and my baby's heartbeat stopped, as they call it, if they call it a missed abortion, right? So when I tried to understand why, there was no known reason. There was nothing that I had done differently than I had done during my pregnancy and my twin birth that I had done at that time. So that is one thing. So please do not think that miscarriage is something that you brought on to yourself or anything like that. Yes, people generally say be a little careful in the first 3 months because it is a little dicey, but please emotionally take care of yourself. Please look for emotional support. If you feel that you're going spiraling down a dark place, please seek out therapy. It's absolutely okay to do so. And in case of emergency at public places for unexpected period, can we use sanitizer? Can we use sanitizer for the cup? I would, because it is alcohol, it can be a little irritating. I would I wouldn't know what to do. If you're carrying a cup or something, I hope it has been pre-sterilized or something like that. So maybe use a sanitizer, then wash the alcohol off of it and then insert. Is the stem of the cup supposed to be pointing out, or should it be in, or is that a personal preference? I think some of the menstrual cups have a very long stem so that it can be easily reached, because I think many users said that they would like a longer stem. The cup that I used initially didn't have a long stem. It had just a nub of a stem. That might be a little difficult for people. So there are a lot of cups that come with a longer stem so that people can just pull it out easily. So that's again a personal preference. Can I sleep in the bed during periods? You can sleep on the bed, you can sit on the sofa, you can go to the kitchen, and even God doesn't care a damn if you're on your periods, because I believe God is everywhere. And if God is everywhere, why should he be bothered with a woman who's on her periods? Okay. All right. I also had a miscarriage because of hematoma problem. I am truly sorry about that. I hope you're getting the medical help that you deserve. Okay. Tips for post-delivery depression. If you have postpartum depression, please reach out to a therapist and a mental health expert. You need the support, and your family also needs to be extremely supportive. Okay. Okay. Now, I think that's about it. If you have any more questions, if you want me to speak about something else, please let me know. And maybe one of these days we'll have one of these impromptu lives. If your mother is saying not to sleep on the bed while in the period, maybe it is coming from this logic that what if there is some staining and your bed stains, and then we'll have to clean the bed and stuff like that. See, one of the ways to prevent your bed, actually your mattress actually, from staining is to generally use a mattress protector. A mattress protector also takes care of the longevity of your mattress itself, because mattresses are heck expensive these days. Even otherwise, we have had 4 dogs and now we have 2 babies, so we have had mattress protectors for at least 6-7 years. It also keeps off all the fine dust and all of that. And sometimes when I'm drinking coffee or tea on the bed, or even water, right, you don't want all of this spillage onto your mattress. So we have had a mattress protector for the longest time. Have a mattress protector, and then your bed sheet. You can just wash both of these, even if your bed ends up staining. Perhaps your mother is saying that don't sleep on the bed because while you're on your period for this reason. There is no other religious reason for this. All of that is made up. Okay. So far, I'm comfortable with pads, but it is mandatory to switch over to cup as it's safe. There is no such thing as mandatory. The cup is something that's extremely comfortable. It is eco-friendly, but don't be pressured into doing something just because somebody else is doing. There is no need to be frightened. It's not as if you need to have a sex experience to use a menstrual cup. If anybody says so, that's not true. Please don't be scared. If you're going to be scared with it, there's no point. Just do something that's very comfortable for you. That's the most important thing. Anyway, that's that. Thank you very much for joining us. And thank you. I'm going to be sharing all these resources shortly. Take care and God bless.